Everyone set? Call this meeting to order, do a roll call. You ready? Minister? All right, District 1, Mr. Jeffrey Lee, Vice Chair. District 2, Dr. Samuel Valme.
Present.
District 3, Ms. Diane Easter.
Present.
District 4, myself, Felicia Harrell, Chair, present. District 5, Ms. Jasmine Willingham.
Present.
Tax Commissioners appointees, Mr. Nicholas Craig,
Present.
Mr. Lee Kelly,
Present.
as well as our Clerk of Superior Court selected alternate, Dr. Pike. Dr. Pike? Present. All right, and we still have a seat that is vacant from our Clerk of Superior Court's selected alternate seat. We're gonna move on to item B. We'll get a motion on the floor to approve the meeting minutes from 12/16/2025.
Motion to approve. Second.
Are there any issues with the minutes? No?
No.
Okay, all in favor? Moving on to item C, general updates by the ethics administrator.
Good evening, board. Fair.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want me to disclose?
Give me a second.
That's perspective.
Yes. Yes.
So I just have a few small updates. Still waiting. It's supposed to be coming out Thursday for getting us the quote for the security cameras on the front and the back door. They should come out Thursday. So as of right now, I do not know what that is going to cost. But they're supposed to be coming out Thursday. That's what Keith with IT said. Is there any questions about that? And then my next update is we posted the contract position for the conflict attorney. I was able to actually post that on Indeed for free just for a week, which I was kind of shocked. We got we got 5 applications in, and that is, I'll be handing those over to the board once they go into executive session so they can review and decide what they want to do moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions about that? Yes, sir.
Is the application closed?
It was only for a week, yeah, because it was to run it like continuously. Well, actually, to run it per week is $107. But that was just the free Indeed option just to kind of try it. So we did get, those were the applications that we got in.
So in other words, our limited budget is limiting our options.
Yes, that is correct. Because I did look into ZipRecruiter and other options, and it's all, you have to pay. You have to pay to put us anything on there. So it would cost us around $310 to $350 per week to run the app.
Just from my understanding, are you able to put anything on the website?
No, the county, that's why we had to post it on an alternate site, was because the county said they do not post contract positions. They cannot post contract positions on the website. So we had to go an alternate route, so I was able to put it on Indeed for free for a week. And these were the applications that we got in. Any other questions or concerns about that?
I mean, I have concerns, but I can't really talk about it. We get a lot of no's, y'all. We get a lot of no's. And there's a lot this board has been restricted in ways we're being restricted. We can move on to the next thing.
My final update is, the last meeting, the board wanted clarification of what the county meant by who county leadership was. I'm still waiting to hear back. I have not heard anything on that as of yet.
And this relates to what?
For the Salto access to our office. I'm still waiting to hear back for them to clarify who county leadership, like who that includes. So we haven't heard as of yet. And
What was your last follow-up?
was last week, a week and a half ago. Those are all my updates that I have for right now.
Okay. Oh, question for you, because we talked extensively about hearing space.
Yes.
We talked about going to Locust Grove and to Butts County and other counties and cities, but what we decided is to, and this is based on advice from legal, to stay in this county because the bill specifies that the county should provide space. I know you all have gotten correspondence and seen an email as it relates to us holding hearings and meetings in this space. That made absolutely no sense because we can barely hold ourselves in here unless a hearing. So we're still trying to get access to the community room. If we can't get it during the day, we're trying to get it in the evening. The reason we're wanting this space is because obviously it's outfitted for everything that is necessary to hold a hearing. There's plenty of space for the public to be present as we have to accommodate. And we know that the space is available because it's not booked every evening. So we're just trying to figure out how we can get access to the space that we know we should have access to because it's county owned and taxpayer paid for it, right? And we're an entity in the county, so we should have access to that. Now, other spaces in the county will cost us money that we don't have. But we will not stop having hearings because they're restricting us in budget and in space. So what is our next cheapest option for having a hearing
So
here in this county
Locust Road,
that is not city owned or run? What is county owned space, county owned space that we could use?
the only other space that I know of that's not is the Parks and Rec. The Locust Road Event Center.
So Parks and Rec is probably gonna be our cheapest option because it's county owned, so we should have access to it.
Yeah, we'll have
It's a
access
county.
to it. The problem
Outfitting.
is outfitting it with cameras to stream, which we do not have as of yet. Microphones that we do not have as of yet to be able to stream what the whole entire hearings live. That's why the community room was so, it was the perfect space because all of that was already included. So as of right now, we don't have the cameras, we don't have the microphones. So yes, we could technically use Parks and Rec, but we have to make sure that we can outfit it and get IT over there to look at where we would have to put up the microphones, set up the cameras, and all that, and make sure that the space is, that we have enough microphones for the size of the space, enough cameras for the space. And we also have to see what the availability is with Parks and Rec, because, school's letting out in a couple, 2-3 months. So they have a lot of activities going on during the summer. So during the day, it's hard to get it. In the evening, I'm sure it'll be easier. But there's always something going on over there. So the room's not always ready or available, but they've always been really good about helping us out when we need a space.
Okay, find out what we can do with Parks and Rec. And find out the earliest dates, and we're gonna set the next hearing dates. As it relates to space, community center, we were told by the county to do what the elections board is doing. The election board has a building. Before the building, they use the community room. So we're trying to follow the precedent of the elections board by using the community room. Anything else?
That was all for me. As far as for hearing dates, do you need to look for February, March, April?
I want the very first date we can get as soon as possible. I want every available date we can have as soon as we could possibly get it. So no, I don't want to wait to March and I don't want to wait to April.
Are we discussing the room over at Heritage Park?
I think we are.
Yeah,
Heritage Park.
because-
Yes, sir, we are.
Could we also use like Merle Manders in that county owned, or there's all those event centers they built?
Let's find out. And then follow back up with communications with, once you get the space narrowed down and see what kind of camera setups we can have and use for that. I just have to make it work, y'all.
So I know communications said that they did not have any cameras or anything that we could use.
They don't have them or we can't use them.
I was just told that they do not have cameras that we can use.
So they have cameras, but okay, so the communications department, Carlos, do they have cameras?
Yes.
So we're being told by the communications department, we cannot use cameras, even though they have cameras.
So I was just told,
So basically, they want the Board of Ethics to be a figurehead and not an active, engaged board, because we're being limited in every way.
Who's they? Like who's making the decision? Who's they? Like you said they,
communications, the communications department.
We get different answers from different, let me back it up. We're getting the same answers from different departments.
Nathan Monroe on December 17th. And if the communications department has any portable cameras that we could possibly use to stream our hearings live from their locations. He said, unfortunately, we don't. When we do any streaming outside of the building, it is just an iPad.
So we need some iPads. Do they have iPads that we can borrow?
He said, maybe check with Carlos and IT. He might have something you see.
Carlos, do you have something we can use? I greatly appreciate it.
It was just that one camera that you showed us, right?
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah.
So that you do have that available in your department?
Yeah. It's just one.
It's just one, and it doesn't have microphones or anything.
I'm sorry. No, there's an onboard microphone, but if you want something that's a little bit more punchier.
You have to get some additional mics. All right. All right, moving on to item D, general updates by the ethics officer.
Good evening, board. Happy New Year. I want to start my presentation talking about frame for our 2025 year. You all will have your annual report the first Tuesday of February. For the new board members that don't know, every year an annual report is produced based on all of the activity that has been done throughout that prior year. So we'll talk everything about twenty twenty-five activities, the trainings. This year, I'm gonna add a non-compliance list that's going to actually go in the annual report. That will be published. The annual report is published to the public as well as to all of the Board of Commissioners and County Manager. So that's one of the requirements of Senate Bill 22. But until you get that report, the first Tuesday of February, here's a brief summary. We've completed 86.6% of training of all Harris County employees. And when I say all employees, I'll compare January of 2025 to January of 2026. As employees consistently come and go, it's very difficult to say we're 100% ever. So in 2025, we had 2,169. To date, we have 2,121 employees. So I look at both of those and say, well, between those two numbers, how many did we complete or how many fell out? And that gathers about 86.6, which I'm very pleased with when it comes to overall training. That means we only had 13.4% of employees that have not been trained on code of ethics in 2025. Out of that 86.6%, 55.9% of those people were trained in person and 44.1% were trained. As you all know, our bigger departments like fire, parks and rec, police, they do virtual trainings and our boards do virtual trainings. This year is a virtual year. We're voted a while ago, we do 1 year in person, 1 year virtual. So all employees this year will be trained virtually. So we're gearing up with a new campaign for them. So they're not taking the same training every year, but new examples and things of that nature that they'll be able to take for their 2026 year. Any questions?
Are you done with this part as far as the training question in regard to trends for complaints? Is there a chart that looks at what number of complaints, the type of complaints, whether or not it's trending up or down?
There is a report that we can run in our, not complaints, that's training. Complaints themselves, there is not a chart that says the types of complaints. I can tell you we have, this is the our 2025 was the most complaints we have ever received since it's been held. I want to say last meeting, I had the exact number of complaints, but it was in excess of about 18. Now, one complaint may have 3 defendants. That doesn't mean that's one complaint, that means that's 3 complaints. They're just under one complaint because you have 3 different respondents. So in the annual report, you'll have a total of how many complaints was filed, and you can see a comparison between 22, 23, 24, and 25.
Thank you.
I don't know if it'll be as detailed as the type of complaint though, like the allegations.
Would you like it
Mhm.
to start a trends report on that?
If you could, just to see if whether or not there's a trend going up or down based on based off the training and historically what's going on.
And the type of report do you want? Do you want based on what people are alleging or based on what the board find as probable cause? Because those will be 2 different.
You may as well trend both.
Yeah, I mean, you can trend both because you can say this is the alleged, this was we found probable cause.
And do you want to go back to when the board first started in 2022?
I'll leave that up to you. Your discretion on that.
Yes, why not?
We didn't have a system in 2022. We didn't get a system until 2025.
We had very few complaints. Or.
We're averaging about 10, I would say about 8 to 13 between 2022 to maybe 2024.
A lot.
I can pull what I can pull.
Okay, do that, please.
Mhm.
Thank you. All right.
Any other? That is all as it relates to the training. as it relates to case status, you all have one probable cause hearing for you today. That will be the Lauren B. Smith versus Sherry Hobson Matthews, 2026 EB1. We have two that are informal investigation phases. And we have two that are ready for a hearing. I will advise the board today, after the board got the presentation, we got a motion to dismiss on Ryan Morrison versus Sherry Matthews and Kevin Johnson. You all probably have not even received it yet because we just got it today. And we also got an amended answer on John Doe versus Morrison, Whitaker, and the third respondent. So we got two pleadings that will be coming to the board that you all haven't gotten yet. I expect them to be on the next agenda for the board to entertain or at least review.
They didn't email this to me.
No, they did not email them to Gloria. They
Just make sure.
emailed them to me and I forwarded them to you.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I said.
So for full understanding, as it relates to Mr. Morrison versus Sherry Matthews and Kevin Johnson, there's a motion to dismiss,
Correct,
request to dismiss.
correct.
And then for the other ones, is it just an opinion or
It's just a supplemental
supplement
answer,
answer?
just providing more information for the board.
Can you print out the dismissal for us to review tonight and add it to the agenda?
I believe the board have to make a motion to
Okay,
amend it.
we'll amend the agenda, but can you print it out at least so they can have a copy of it? Okay.
Would you all like to do that before we go into preliminary hearing? Or after?
After, please.
Any questions about that? No. That brings us to the preliminary hearing before the board tonight. That's Lauren B. Smith versus Sherry Hobson Matthews, 2026 EB1. You all got a copy of the complaint that was forwarded. Based on this complaint, the allegation is that the county manager, husband, and sisters are employees who all fall directly under the supervision of her. While the county manager is not the immediate supervisor, the development inspector, which is the position of her husband, as well as the assistant director of transit, which is the position of her sister, ultimately answers to the chief admin, which is the county manager. The plaintiff provided us with a chain of command. They said that her husband reports ultimately in this way. It's from the Development Inspection Division, who reports to the Building and Development Service Director, who reports to the county manager, and then who reports to the Board of Commissioner. Ms. McKinney is a Transport Division staff who reports to the DOT Director or the Assistant Director, and then ultimately that provides reports to the county manager. The purpose of that breakdown was the complaint indicates that although it's not a direct supervision, ultimately everybody reports to the county manager. And there appears to be a conflict because this is her husband and her sister that are employed by the county. I did provide with the court, or not the court, the board, an organization chart. Something that the complainant wants the board to have before you all as well, which essentially lays out who reports to who in each division. That's printed before you as well. Mr. Willie Matthews is the husband of the county manager. He works in the development inspection. I did review some documents. I learned that he was hired August the 30th of 2004. Ms. Matthews did not become county manager until March of 2017. You have before you on a hard copy, this is the same thing. A copy of the PA forms, and I also made an employment and compensation timeline. This really goes into actions or promotions or pay increases that have been done since Mr. Matthews have been an employee of the county. It starts from 2004 when he was hired as a DOT laborer. And you can see now we go to 2025. the time he was employed, he wasn't making $19,000. He had a van, it looks like he had several increases before the county manager became the county manager. Several title changes, increases, a couple of decreases, and then also some cost of living. So ultimately, his final salary of what he makes now, which is $96,677. You will find the same thing, information for Ms. McKinney. Ms. McKinney was hired on October 14, 2014, as a DOT laborer. This again was before county manager became the county manager in 2017. I provided for the board again a copy of the PA forms in which there has been increases since the date of hire, in addition to any COLAs or longevity raises that has come along with that as well. The most recent increase was September, or I guess not increase, essentially, position where she became the assistant director in 2023. After that, the only increases have been COLA and the cost of living longevity. And just so the board understands, the COLA and the longevity is given to every employee, depending on how long you've been working here, and the cost of living adjustment that the Board of Commissioners did go back through all of the personnel forms and verify who signed all of the forms, even before the county manager became county manager. And based on our review, all of the forms were always signed by either a HR director or some type of individual that was not the county manager. The specific violations that were alleged is, the first one is incompatible with. That means that someone engages in self-employment with or renders services for any agency, private business, or professional activity when such employment of rendering service is adverse to or incompatible with the proper discharge of their duty. The specific second violation that was alleged was engaging in prohibited conduct or activity prohibited by law. We have a specific code section that the complainant alleged, which is OCGA 451080. This code section is the code section that is for elected officials. It's the ethics law for elected officials, and it talks about a public officer and what they cannot do. It says that they're prohibiting from advocating, advancing, appointing, employment, promotion, any of those things for a family member. The interesting thing about this, and I think the complainant didn't go back to see what a public officer was defined as, because a public officer is defined as the lieutenant governor, elected state officials, the executive head, a member of the General Assembly, people of that nature. The third violation was a failure to disclose. It says that if you have an interest in any contract, or if you have a reason to believe that any action that you partake can affect Henry County, you have to disclose that. This is written for board members that may have a side business, and they need to do a disclosure, or when the board entertains the several disclosures you have where you have an interest where the county is about to engage in some type of official business action, then you have to disclose that. I mentioned before, I reviewed the statutes that were relevant to this. I re-reviewed Bill 22. I also reviewed the personnel action forms that you have before you. Based on the complaint and based on all of the things that were reviewed, my recommendation is no probable cause for incompatible interest. There was no service rendered. It just doesn't fall within the definition of what incompatible interest is. Engaging in activity prohibited by law, because that law is specifically for public officials and the county manager is not a public official, then she is not subject to that statute. And failure to disclose interest, that again, there's no interest that's involved with an action or an official action by the county in which there had to be a disclosure. In addition to that, the board is confined to a 2-year rule. All of these actions took place well over 2 years ago. So with that, it would not have been right for the board to be able to entertain.
I have a question about the 2-year rule.
Yes,
Is the 2-year rule based off of what?
the date of the action.
Which action we're talking about here?
So the statute says that any investigation pursuant to this subsection shall be commenced within 2 years of the date of the alleged action. Based on the complaint is indicating that because they are employees, that is the problem, that they are employees falling under the organization structure where they report to her. But they were already employees and she became county manager in 2017.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. So it's based off of when she became county manager.
Correct.
Okay.
Based on this complaint, yes.
Okay, got it.
Is it based on when she became county manager or based on date of employment, raises and bumps in position?
Well, it says that the county manager employees fall under the organizational chart of chain of command for the county manager. So the complaint, it doesn't really say specifically either way.
Either way, it doesn't, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, the board can speak on theirs. It doesn't really matter what the complaint says because at no point has there been any evidence provided that she's advocated for or intervened with or even hidden the fact that they are employed with the county. I mean, if they're given raises and they're going through HR and the HR department is involved and they're very much aware that they're related. But also she's not advocating for or it really doing anything of the sort. There's no evidence to say that. So I can't even see why I would find fault because there is no evidence proving any of that. Other than the fact they're employed by the county, which is probably half of Herring County that is employed by Herring County is related to someone that's employed with Herring County.
I did look at it from the angle of maybe the complainant is saying that there was some impartiality, maybe in raises or things of that nature, which is why I created that chart. And based on the history of the chart, there was increases because of COLA, there was increases because of a transition in a role, going from admin to manager, or going from a laborer to a director. And nothing does not appear that was done in a favored way, any type of way. There also was decreases. So in 2021, Mr. Matthews had an increase. It appears he was an interim director for a while, and he had that increase for maybe about 6 months. And then his pay decreased because he was no longer in that role once they found someone for the role. I also saw that Ms. McKinney was suspended after the county manager became county manager without pay. So I saw discipline then. Based on what was provided, I did not see probable cause.
Any additional questions, comments from the board?
Just for for clarification. So Mr. Matthews was employed in 2004.
Right.
And since then, there was not an issue until, I guess, the county manager became county manager.
That's what I understand from the complaint, that the fact that she is the county manager is the issue in itself because everybody reports ultimately to the county manager.
For clarity, just so that we're all on the understanding of the complaint, can we revisit the complaint itself
Or
so that we can make sure we're addressing the language in the complaint the way that it is written, not our interpretation?
this is the complaint.
Okay. So she's not a public officer, so we can move on past that. Chain of command. It isn't unethical for them to work for the county, even though she's a county manager. And their raises, higher dates, and their, what is it, the promotions, she had nothing to do. There's not any evidence that she advocated for or played any role in any parts of their promotions or their pay increases.
Not that I saw. The pay increases, I notated two, I guess, significant spikes, if you would say, in a raise or in a pay. One happened before, and this is for Mr. Williams. One happened, or Mr. Matthews, before the county manager, current county manager became county manager, so it was approved by prior. And then one after, she became county manager, but she didn't approve it. Both of those were based on a class and comp study that the county itself conducted. And it caused a spike, with the biggest spike being in 2022. It was almost a 13% increase, because the county employees as a whole got COLA, longevity, and a reclassification. And I believe this board remembers that, because we had that issue with our board.
Okay. So, any other questions? Anybody like to make a motion?
Can you bring that, okay, I'll make a motion in regards to. You have it? Um. Case 2026 EB1. Lauren B. Smith versus Sherry Hobson. Incompatibility interest, I make a motion, no probable cause. To include engaging in activity prohibited by law, no probable cause. And failure to disclose interest as well, no probable cause.
Second.
All in favor?
Second.
Second, Mr.
That's all I have for the board tonight. Did anyone have any further questions?
Yes. I would, if the board isn't opposed, I would like to add the request for a dismissal. Or can you tell what case that is, please?
Or 25.
I'll make that motion.
Second. All in favor to add this to the agenda tonight? We'll get that with the request.
Yes, I'm going to print it now.
Thank you.
Motion, Chair.
I did.
Yes, sir. Dr. Gama.
And who seconded the motion?
If you want to bring it on screen, or would you rather print it and just give us each a copy?
I will print it.
Yeah, just for. Thank you.
I set up for a hearing, well, it could be. Yeah. probably. It worked. They have me out there. It worked.
Oh, this is all of it?
We're gonna need a ream of paper.
Jesus Christ, I was long. We've already seen all this, but I guess we'll hold it.
No, that is.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a disclosure before I.
Yeah, I think we just haven't seen the dismissal response, but we've seen it.
Very bad.
Copies in my holding. It's one.
It should be one.
Yeah.
I'd say I'll pass this around to save one copy.
Hey, you wanna say it? Maisha, you wanna say it?
You can cancel it, yeah. Don't cancel the rest of them. Man, that's something, pass it
They
around.
may wanna have it for records.
Save one. You're very right, you can add.
Well, I put my binder, see that.
Okay.
She don't want, does everybody else have one? Dr. Pike, do you have a copy?
No.
Dr. Pike, does have a copy.
You are.
Oh, thank you. So we just gonna share everything, huh?
As well.
Let's take it on.
You saw this on the back job, didn't you? I could read this.
Hey, but wait, hey, our television went off. Can we see what's going on? Please, I'm sorry. Jesus, yo. You may have to stand outside the office with a can. I have to do a board phone wash.
Doesn't have her.
I don't.
She was done with it.
Oh,
Reverend,
well, we gotta do a phone wash just to make money.
who's wearing a bikini?
That'd be unethical. What?
Executive or?
No, we're not. Yeah, that makes sure.
No.
This one.
I thought it was too.
So
Question,
it's really item 3.
item 3,
Yes, sir.
okay,
The other 2 items really, that's not why we're,
yeah.
it's not, we didn't find.
Relevance.
Yeah, there's no relevance to 1 and 2. That's only item 3. This is. Yeah. Yes, sir. We're we're not, don't worry. I don't think we need to see anything on screen. Everyone has their need. Are we ready to make a decision or need more time? Vice Chair, do you need more time?
I'm good.
Ms. Easter, do you need more time? Yes. I get a motion on the floor as it relates to this dismissal, request from for 2025 EB6, Mr. Ryan Morrison, versus, Mrs. Sherry Hobson Matthews and Mr. Kevin Johnson.
Motion to dismiss. 2025 EB6. Brian Morrison versus Sherry Hobson Matthews and Kevin Johnson to dismiss.
You have a question, Dr. Valley?
I just want to clarify, the relevance of the motion.
The relevance of the motion?
Yes.
So, and I believe our December 16th meeting, 2025, we discussed this case in more detail. And it was found in evidence, I think, in the stack of papers that we have. The probable cause that we found was that Mr. Johnson had lights, police or similar emergency lights in his vehicle. In addition to, he had a firearm when he would enter the county administration building. Both those, we were provided evidence that neither one of those were a violation of the county or ethics. And because of that, their attorney has asked that we dismiss the case. Ms. Sherry Hobson Matthews was just along for the ride. There was nothing alleged or probable cause found against her. She was just one of the persons named as a respondent in the probable cause.
The probable cause was found against her for the purposes of her approving the lights being installed.
For her approving the lights being installed, but the lights were installed prior to, she gave permission or they were already there. She just gave permission to allow it.
No, they were not already there.
Okay, she gave permission too.
So did we make a decision when it was presented or we were waiting for this response?
Waiting for the response. If we can get the screen back up, we can go back through the evidence if you want as a board.
Just wanted to make sure I understood
Okay.
why we're getting the response back.
Mr. Kelly, are we answering your questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Motion stands.
Wanna, motion again?
Make a motion to dismiss 2025 EB6. Brian Morrison versus Sherry Hobson Matthews and Kevin Johnson to dismiss.
All in favor to dismiss? Thank you, board. We get a motion for the concession.
Second.
All in favor?
Question.
Yes, sir.
Need the thing.
No, I'm not requesting that they stay.
Okay, thank you.
I'll bring them in as needed.
I think we have a motion to allow that as well. To allow you to bring them in.
Based on legal counsel. Maisha, would you like to weigh in on that?
Well, I mean, you can just go into executive session if you have questions, then.
We can have the staff pop in and out.
But
We're not, yeah, I didn't think that. Not based on legal counsel. So we made a motion, second, we voted unanimous to go into executive session. And we are now in executive session, Carlos. We still have chairs
Make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
All in favor? We have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I make a mo-
Made the motion.
Motion to accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?